being blamed for something that I didn't do. So who gave the man my address?
It's called an attorney.
Oh, he can't find my address in that letter. That house not even under my name. Because I know y'all don't give about me. I'm not expecting y'all to really give about me. But what I am asking about is my child.
Tamar Braxton just sat down and spilled everything reality TV didn't show you. And let me tell you something right now. Reality TV is not reality. They sit in that editing room and cut, chop, and choose whatever narrative they want to push. They'll show you the argument but leave out the reason why somebody snapped. They'll show you the tears but won't tell you what really happened behind closed doors. And that's exactly what's been going on with this family. Now I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm fed up with watching this family tap dance around real issues like they're in some kind of Broadway musical. We're not stupid. We got eyes. We got ears, and Tamar is finally addressing what we've all been thinking: the hate, the shadiness, the lies. She's talking about Towanda and that cease and desist letter that got sent. And honey, when you got to get lawyers involved with your own sister, that tells you everything you need to know about how messy this situation really is.
She was trying to break it up, so we're just gonna go with what she said. When she tried to separate us, I didn't feel like she tried to separate us. I felt like she tried to separate me. You get what I'm saying?
I can see why you think that.
Right, because she pushed me and turned and protected Tony.
She did.
Right? And gave you a superstar. You're the number one R&B. Right?
So, let's get into how all of this even started. Because trust me, it's deeper than what you think. The whole conflict kicked off when Tamar brought her niece Ashlee to be part of the conversation. Now, Ashlee is her brother's daughter. And yes, she's also the sibling of the daughter who tragically passed away. So this is family. This is blood. But the problem is Ashlee came with some heavy, uncomfortable truths that the rest of the family did not want to deal with. We're talking about allegations. Serious ones. Allegations that Trina's late husband allegedly abused Ashlee. Yeah, let that marinate for a second.
And so when my house got robbed, that was really hard for me. And people that's close to me knew that. And I have gone to great lengths.
And on top of that, there were claims being made about their brother being abusive. Now, these are not light topics. These are the kind of things that families are supposed to sit down and handle with care, with honesty, with accountability. But instead, they shut it down. They turned their backs on Tamar for even bringing it up. They made her the villain for wanting to have the conversation. And let me tell you something, the viewers are not stupid. We see what's happening. If this family came out and said, you know what, we're going through it, we've got dysfunction, we've made mistakes, but we're working on it, people would respect that. People would support that. But no, instead, they want to keep up this picture-perfect image like they're the Huxtables or something, when in reality, they're just as messy as the rest of us. The difference is they're pretending, and that's what makes it so exhausting to watch.
And spending an obscene amount of money keeping my home and keeping myself safe, because it's just Logan and myself.
Yeah.
And when that was violated, that was like, wow, so y'all giving out my address now? Well, y'all know.
Now let's talk about what Tamar is really upset about, because this is where it gets serious. The main issue, the thing she keeps coming back to over and over, is one simple question. Who gave that man her address? And before you start with the comments talking about, oh, she's being dramatic, let me give you the context, because this goes deep. Years ago, Tamar's home was broken into. She was violated. Her safe space was invaded. And after that happened, she couldn't stay there anymore. She wasn't broke. She wasn't struggling. She literally just didn't feel safe.
And everybody thought I was having financial issues. No, that wasn't the case. I just didn't feel safe anywhere.
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, I didn't want to leave for my mother's house.
So she moved in with her mother for a little while because she needed to be around people. She needed to feel protected. And in her interview with The Morning Hustle, she explained it perfectly. She said that when you've been violated once, any future violation, no matter how small, feels 10 times worse. It messes with your head. It makes you paranoid. It makes you afraid to be alone in your own home. So yeah, she stayed with her mama, and now she's back on her own. She owns several homes. She's doing just fine. But the issue is this. Her family knows her history. They know her fear. They know she's been traumatized by this before. And yet somehow, someone still gave out her address. Not to a friend, not to a distant cousin, to a whole man who had no business knowing where she lives.
Now, when people started pushing my back up against the wall and I had to come out fighting, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Do you feel, did this happen, this whole situation, the cease and desist, was that sent before Towanda's wedding?
All of that was before Towanda's wedding.
Before Towanda's wedding.
And before the bridal shower that I was invited to, but I wasn't invited to.
Do you feel like you was uninvited because they felt like you were trying to put the family on blast with your niece, or?
I wasn't trying to put my family on blast with my niece. My niece put her experience on blast by herself.
Yeah.
And I signed up to support her.
Tamar said it herself. She spends a lot of money to keep herself and her son safe. She's got security. She's got privacy measures in place. She does everything she's supposed to do. And at the bare minimum, she expected her family to care about her child's safety. At the bare minimum. But apparently that was too much to ask. Because what happened was this man sent a cease and desist letter to her house. Not once, not twice, 3 times. He sent it where someone walked it up to her house and delivered it personally. He sent it through US mail, and he sent it through UPS. 3 different deliveries, 3 different methods, all to the same address, an address that's supposed to be private, an address that's not even in her name. And that's the key detail right there.
Buy a house here that I actually lived in. Like I have 3 that's just sitting here in the city because I just didn't feel safe enough to move into.
The property she lives in is not in her name. That's a safety measure a lot of celebrities use to keep their information private. When your house isn't in your name, people can't just Google you and find out where you live. They can't pull up public records and get your address. So if someone wants to find you, they would have to know the name that the property is actually under. You following me? That means this wasn't some random leak. This wasn't some hacker or some fan who got lucky. Someone had to know the details. Someone had to have inside information. And Tamar is saying that the only people who would have that kind of access are the people in her family.
Because, not only did he send it to my house once, he sent it to my house 3 times. He sent it to my house. He had someone walk it up to my house. He sent it where they sent it through U.S. mail.
And it said your name on it,
Said
obviously.
my name, where I was, and sent it through UPS. And I'm like, I mean, are we being intentional here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was really upset about it.
That's why she's so convinced that it came from them. Because how else would it happen? Think about what that means. Somebody in her family, knowing her trauma, knowing her history with being violated in her own home, knowing she has a young son she's trying to protect, gave out her private address to someone sending legal threats. That's not an accident. That's not a mistake. That's intentional. That's malicious. And when Tamar finally sat down with her family at that table to address this, to ask who did it, nobody said anything. Nobody took responsibility. Nobody even acknowledged that it was wrong. Instead, they made her feel like she was the problem for bringing it up, like she was being dramatic, like she was causing trouble. But Tamar keeps saying the same thing over and over. The cease and desist letter wasn't the issue. Who cares about the letter? The issue is who gave out her personal information, who violated her safety, who put her and her child at risk. That's what she wanted answers about, and she didn't get them.
Them like, I got a cease and desist, and nobody said anything.
Because it was never a factor of a cease and desist. It was the factor of who gave out my personal information.
Yeah.
My home.
Now here's where it gets even messier. Because naturally, people wanted to know about Towanda specifically. Towanda's name has been floating around this whole situation. And Tamar was asked point blank, what's the deal with Towanda? And honey, that's when things really started to get interesting. Because the next part involves Towanda's wedding. Let me say that again. Her own sister's wedding. And Tamar wasn't invited. Actually, it's more complicated than that. She was invited. Then she was uninvited. From everything. The wedding, the bridal shower, all of it. And this all happened before the table conversation where everything blew up.
I just felt like I was pushed in the corner at that table. Like, I really came to discuss my niece, where's everybody head at in this, and who gave out my address. That was the objective for me. Yeah. And I didn't mean to come, in a way that was combative or aggressive. I was really trying to have a real sensible conversation.
So Tamar is sitting there trying to piece it together. Was she really invited to the wedding? Or was it just another part of being gaslit by her family? Because that's what it feels like to her. Like they extended an invitation just to take it back. Like they included her just to exclude her. Like they wanted her to feel the rejection. And when she showed up at that family table to have this conversation, to address the serious allegations her niece made, to ask who leaked her address, she didn't come in combative. She didn't come in aggressive. She came to have a real, sensible conversation. But the family pushed her back up against the wall. And when that happened, she had to come out fighting. That's exactly what happened. Tamar described feeling like she was pushed into a corner at that table. Like she really came to discuss her niece's situation, to find out where everybody's head was at, to get answers about who gave out her address. That was the objective. But instead of addressing those issues, the family turned on her. They made her the problem. They protected each other instead of protecting her. And here's what really hurt her. She felt like their mother, Evelyn, tried to separate her from the group, not separate the whole family. Separate Tamar specifically. She felt like Evelyn pushed her aside and protected Tony, gave Tony the superstar treatment, made Tamar feel like she didn't matter. And Tamar addressed that directly. She said, look, I don't have to be a superstar in my family dynamic. I'm okay with being the youngest sister of amazing siblings that I grew up with, who are beautiful and talented. I don't have to be a superstar in that situation. When I'm at work, you will give me my flowers. You will respect me. But when I'm with my family, we don't even have to bring up our occupations or the status of our lives. I don't think we should, but that's not what happened. Instead, she felt pushed to the corner, dismissed, made to feel like her concerns didn't matter, like asking who leaked her address was somehow wrong. Like bringing her niece to discuss serious allegations of abuse was causing trouble instead of addressing a real problem. Think about what those allegations were. Ashlee, Tamar's niece, came forward with claims that Trina's late husband allegedly abused her, that their brother was allegedly abusive. These are not small accusations. These are serious, traumatic claims that deserve to be heard, to be investigated, to be taken seriously. But instead of rallying around Ashlee, instead of addressing the allegations with honesty and care, the family shut it down. They made Tamar the villain for even platforming those conversations. And that tells you everything you need to know about how this family operates. They care more about image than truth. They care more about keeping up appearances than protecting the people who've been hurt. They care more about looking good than being good. And Tamar is done with it. She's done protecting people who won't protect her. She's done being quiet while her family plays the victim. She's done pretending everything is fine when it's clearly not. So she sat down and did this whole interview spilling things we didn't get to see on the reality show. Because reality TV showed the tears and the drama, but it didn't show the why. It didn't show the context. It didn't show that Tamar came with legitimate concerns and was gaslit into looking crazy. The show made it look like Tamar was being difficult, like she was starting drama, like she was the problem. But what the show didn't tell you is that her house was robbed years ago, and she still hasn't fully recovered from that violation. What the show didn't tell you is that she owns multiple properties in the same city, but doesn't live in them because she doesn't feel safe. What the show didn't tell you is that it took her years to finally buy a house and actually move into it because the trauma was that deep. What the show didn't tell you is that she spends an obscene amount of money on security measures to protect herself and her son. What the show didn't tell you is that her family knows all of this and still gave out her address anyway. What the show didn't tell you is that she came to that table wanting answers about serious allegations of abuse and instead got attacked for bringing them up. Reality TV edited all of that out. They gave you the explosion without the context. They gave you Tamar looking angry without showing you why she had every right to be angry. They gave you family drama without showing you that the family refused to address real issues that needed to be addressed. And now Tamar is setting the record straight. She's explaining what really happened. She's giving the context that the show left out. She's making it clear that this isn't about ego or fame or drama. This is about safety. This is about family members leaking private information that puts her and her child at risk. This is about serious allegations being ignored because they're uncomfortable. This is about being uninvited from your own sister's wedding because you dared to ask questions. So, when Tamar asks, was she really invited to the wedding, or was it another part of being gaslit? That's a real question. Because that's what gaslighting is, making someone question their own reality, making them feel crazy for having legitimate concerns. And that's exactly what this family has been doing to Tamar. They extended an invitation knowing they were going to take it back. They included her knowing they were going to exclude her. They made her feel like she was part of the family, knowing they were going to push her out the moment she brought up uncomfortable truths. That's gaslighting. That's manipulation. That's toxic family dynamics dressed up as reality TV entertainment. And the viewers are tired of it. We're tired of watching this family pretend. We're tired of seeing Tamar made into the villain when she's the only one brave enough to address real issues. We're tired of the editing that makes her look crazy when she's actually the most honest one in the room. Tamar came to that table to discuss her niece's allegations and to find out who leaked her address. Those were legitimate concerns. Those deserved answers. But instead of answers, she got attacked. Instead of support, she got excluded. Instead of family protecting family, she got lawyers sending cease and desist letters to an address someone in her family gave out. And now she's done. She's not protecting them anymore. She's not staying quiet anymore. She's telling her truth. She's giving the full story. She's making it clear that the Braxton family is not what they pretend to be on TV. Behind the singing and the glamour and the sisterhood narrative is dysfunction, secrets, gaslighting, and a refusal to address serious issues. Tamar Braxton is finally speaking, and the family that pushed her into a corner is about to learn that when you back someone into a corner, don't be surprised when they come out fighting.